Hey guys, happy Sunday to you all. And for those of you who are just hanging out and chilling at home like I am, I'm so glad that you're tuning in. And even if you're not and you're checking this out during the week, I think this is really gonna help benefit those of you who are kind of out there and running after a bunch of different things, right? Like, we tend to follow the masses when we want something. So for instance, we are pummeled with commercials, right, about how to get in shape, or radio commercials, right, about how to find that sexy body, or how to be more confident, right? In order to be more confident, in order to feel more sexy, you have to buy these clothes, or you have to wear this cologne, or you have to be in these places or around these people. And what people don't tend to separate is that the reason they're throwing all this at you is because this is their way. This is how marketing works. They need a way to make money, so they're going to feed off your reptilian and mammal brain. And that's why it's so easy for people to get, hypnotized. This is a form of hypnosis that a lot of salespeople use to get you to buy stuff. But it's not what gives you, what creates that state of core confidence and feeling really good and amazing and sexy in your own self. Now, this was like a post I just put up on Facebook, is that sexiness and confidence is not built in the gym. You don't acquire that in the gym. You can acquire ego in the gym. You can acquire that. You can go to the mall. You can go buy sexier outfits. You can wear that. But in that case, right, the clothes are wearing you and you're not wearing the clothes. We tend to look to external sources to try and build ourselves up on the outside. And what happens is we get that body, right? Or we get those new clothes, or we get those new friends, or we start going to those places, those parties, and hanging out with like a new crowd. And we start acquiring those things on the outside. For those of you just tuning in, I'm talking about how to really cultivate true confidence, because what happens is people will flock to the gym to build an amazing body, or they'll flock to the malls to buy all of these amazing or sexy new clothes, or they'll feel like they need to be like in the VIP, they need to hang out with certain people, they need to be in a certain place or in a certain industry around, right? Like, a lot of people are relying on their external surroundings, or including your being in your own skin, to give you that sense of importance and significance. And this is such a huge way of just shooting yourself in the foot, because true confidence and feeling sexy and feeling worthy and feeling amazing and beautiful or handsome, right? You can only have those things if you're comfortable in your own body and being who you really are, right? You have to have those two things. And this is regardless of what your body looks like, or your face, or what kind of clothes you're in. It's being comfortable with who you are and loving who you are, regardless of your past, regardless of who you're around right now, or where you live, or how much money you make, right? Because we tend to let these things decide our self-worth. And like I said, this is a huge mistake. And this is why so many people are out there spending thousands and thousands of dollars on like pills and wraps to make themselves look skinnier, and they're out there they're out there trying to make a certain amount of money so that they look better in other people's eyes. They feel like they get more respect, right? People are out there to look for more respect. They're out there trying to find this, or like women, right? Trying to find the sexiest dress they can possibly find, or the sexiest bikini. And then they take a snapshot and post themselves on Facebook, And yeah, you're gonna get a lot of attention, but you're not gonna get respect if you're just throwing up things like high bank accounts and you're in sexy clothes and all this stuff. This is all an attitude that you have. And I see a lot, I mean an enormous amount of disrespect that people give to themselves, not just to other people, but disrespect, of lack of respect, because how they portray themselves to society. But the problem is that a lot of us don't know how we're portraying ourselves on Facebook and social media. So you can see how spending all this money, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't be working on the outside, right? Like that you shouldn't be working on making more money or looking better, working on your body so you look healthier. But the thing is that people tend to start working on this in reverse. They tend to start with the outside, and then what happens is they get stuck, right? They begin to rely on willpower and motivation and other people pushing them, or rejection, or something happens, right? Like I got injured. Something happens that forces people to look on the inside. Or maybe not. The people who don't will continue to try and get back on the cycle of trying to build what's on the outside, right? It becomes an obsession, and they're not getting anything back. They're just completely fueled through ego. And what happened to me was when I was knocked down, after so many years of doing this one thing over and over again, these few things over and over again, I realized something was not working, and I did not feel fulfilled at that point in life. And then, thinking that I had spent so much time and so much money on this, on like fitness, right? Why did I not have what I want? How much money am I gonna need to shell out for personal trainers and coaches and workouts, right? Like we tend to just invest, and we're not getting any more back. And that's when self-reflection really should start to take place. But this doesn't happen for everybody. But for those who do, and start looking at what's actually going on instead of what they don't have, right? These people have whatever you can call like an enlightenment experience, or an awakening, or and like I said, this can be catapulted through a setback or a near-death experience. A lot of it, and it happens really fast. I mean, you literally can't go on another day in the way that you are. And for those of you who are on this path, and maybe you've invested tons and tons of money in, starting that business, and you don't feel fulfilled, or you've gotten that, you're in a relationship and you still don't feel fulfilled or happy, or maybe you've achieved that dream body and you're just kind of like, you feel like, okay, what now? Like maybe that's how you're feeling right now. And the reason for this feeling is because you're not fulfilling all of the other happy chemicals. Basically, you have different happy chemicals in your brain, and you're only spiking one happy chemical over and over again, and you're not fulfilling the other. So that's what's happening on a scientific level. So in order to fulfill those other areas, you have to figure out where you feel unfulfilled, right? So maybe if you have an amazing body and you're in fitness, maybe you're single. Maybe you want to start working on communicating with people, going out, meeting new people, just creating more social bonds, right? Or, if you feel like maybe you have the relationship of your dreams, maybe you don't feel happy when you look in the mirror, right? Because all of these happy chemicals are triggered by something different. Having an amazing body isn't gonna fulfill all the areas of happiness for you. Having a relationship or that dream marriage or whatever is not going to make you happy everywhere in life. It's a balance. You have to have that social bonding with people. You have to, and it doesn't even have to be a intimate relationship. You just have to be connected to other people. You have to feel good in your own body, right? You have to feel like you respect yourself, and things like respect aren't built through getting on a stage or having a round of applause or a compliment, right? These things are not built externally. If you don't feel it on the inside, you're just gonna wish-wash, you're gonna push all these comments away. That's why a lot of people who have trouble accepting compliments, this is the reason why people have trouble accepting compliments, is because they don't feel this on the inside. They don't feel like it's true. And what happens is they just say, oh, no, I'm not, or, they'll just kind of say, you know, they'll actually begin to feel guilty. So if you feel like you're a person, you get a compliment and you begin to feel guilty about that compliment, you know, this is, I mean, honestly, this is because it's not a truism to you. So let's circle back here to feeling sexy, right? Like, a lot of women out there are like bombarded, we're bombarded with these commercials, and this is why I stopped listening to the radio. I mean, honestly, the radio to me was almost worse than television because, I mean, I don't know what it is, but I mean, like, I guess probably because I'm a music person and I spend more time listening to the radio than watching television, but I eventually had to cut out radio as well, and I just use Spotify now. But we're bombarded, you know, with like, buy this new makeup or try this new fitness class and feel sexy today. And it's not, you can't find sexiness there. You can find ego when you build from the outside. That's the only thing you can find on the outside, is building an inflated ego. And again, this is a way of shooting yourself in the foot down the road, because you'll never be happy with an inflated ego. What you have to have is that sense of self-worth, that you're valuable, that it's a birthright. It's not something, I'm finding the most common trend in this belief of acquiring and building self-worth, that you actually need to go out and get it, and that you're not worthy of anything unless you have a nice car, or you make so much money, or you have a certain type of job, or you hang out with the right, you know, this certain type of people, or you have a nice body that looks like this, or whatever perfect looks like to you. You're gonna feel like unless you have that, you don't have any worth. And this is the biggest trap that a lot of people fall into for years. For years, people will fall into this trap. And like I said, it had to come full circle for me and slap me in the face. And that's when I stopped investing in bodybuilding coaches. I stopped investing in fitness. I stopped investing so much money in supplements and, you know, all like money in clothes and trying to look good. And I dug deep inside, and I basically, you know, it's that sort of facing your demons that we all hear about. You know, you really have inner demons that you have to go in and smash. You have to go in and prove to yourself all of these things that you think about yourself, or you think you're not worthy of, you feel like you don't deserve, and you have to figure out why those are there. And once you figure out why those beliefs are there, you can ultimately do whatever you want with them, right? Meaning you can smash them, you can stop on them, you can use hypnosis, neurolinguistic programming, which is what I do with my clients. A quick and easy way to get over sabotaging beliefs and behaviors. I mean, there's so many methods you can do to retrain yourself. You know, developing new patterns for yourself, and this is something that's it's tougher, but you can completely obliterate a bad behavior or a thinking pattern just through repetition. So this is something that I use on myself a lot. It helps me have a good sense of mindfulness when you do this. So basically understanding what you're feeling, when you're feeling, and at the time that it happens. You have to have that. This is something I work on, like a muscle that you have to build, that I do with my clients. But the thing is, you can't keep running after these things. When you don't get what you want, you can't keep running after these things. When you get rejected, you can't just get back up and try again and try again and try again without changing something, right? Because you're getting negative feedback because something is not working. Something in your system, something in your method is not working, and it has nothing to do with you as a person, right? You may need to enhance your skills in some area, right? You may need to, you know, a lot of it is just you're not, like, okay, let's take an overweight person, for example. You know, I fit this category, having spent a lot of time overweight. You can totally be sexy and confident if you're overweight. You can totally own it. In a gym, if you are, wherever, you can totally own it and be sexy and confident at any weight, right? But what happens is, when this happens and we notice that we don't look like a certain group or a certain community, we tend to get insecure. And we let that take a hold of our emotions and we start to beat ourselves down, and that's when things aren't in congruence anymore. So then we have a gap in who we are and then who we think we should be, and that creates insecurity. But you can totally have that body who you are and not have that gap in congruence. But with a lot of people, they don't realize, first of all, that gap is there. And I mean, the way of overcoming the gap is honestly by knowing when it happens. And this is something I, again, train my clients to do. It's a very powerful method to being comfortable to approach the opposite sex, right? Like, a lot of us immediately go into rejection mode when we want to approach the opposite sex. And the reason is because immediately we're trying to figure out a way to be someone that we're not. You see? Immediately we see flaws in ourselves. Oh no, well, she's too pretty, or he's just really, he probably has a really nice job and he wants something this, and oh, she looks like she's really got it together and I probably don't make enough money. And we start beating ourselves down, and boom, right there in that moment, there is incongruence with who we are and who we think we need to be. And when that happens, you begin to have negative emotions. You begin to have anxiety. You begin to have your heart rate begins to speed up, right? You start to sweat. Your physiology changes. You start to, kind of, maybe you look down, right? A lot of these things happen, and it just snowballs and just snowballs to the point where nothing happens. And this all happens really, really fast. And again, this is why I start off all my clients with mindfulness training, is because the sooner you can catch this, the sooner you can, almost deflate it like a balloon, and it all goes away, and you have complete control over your state. And your state is everything. If you have complete control over your state, you can make anything happen. You can have anyone go out with you. You can make any deal with anybody. You can have a positive outcome when you're in control of your state. But when you're out of control in your state and your emotions are just running wild, that's where things start to go downhill. So I kind of want to sum everything up and kind of give you a plan to take away, so that you're not like, okay, well, this sounds like a lot of areas. Now what can I do? Okay. So something you can take away from this is, I know I've preached on about mindfulness meditation and being mindful. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. I've talked about a lot of methods that you can use to build that mindfulness muscle. You can go check out my blog at www.buildyourselfinside.com/blog, and there you will find a ton of information about perception, focus, mindfulness. And when you can master these areas, you really can create a state of authority in any situation, really. You can kind of make anything go your way. It's a really powerful thing to have control over, is your emotions. Because if you can match someone else's emotions, you can be of influence, right? So, this works for sales and relationships and all this kind of stuff. And, it's not about being manipulative. It's about doing what's best for the system, right? Like, if you two are compatible, it's about doing what's best so that you two are you're being yourself with each other, right? If you feel like you're selling something that can really benefit somebody, it's about being genuine and knowing that it can help them, but not being manipulative, right? It's about being confident in that, hey, I know this can help you. I really want to help you. And I know if you invest your time that this can happen for you, right? It's about that. It's about, if you have that level of confidence in yourself, you can be whoever you want. You can be that sexy person. You can, go out and flirt with whoever you want. You can turn it on, turn it off whenever you want. And I like to tell people it's kind of like a superpower. But, the takeaway from this video is to stop chasing those things that those commercials are throwing at you, that other people are throwing at you, telling you have to go get and buy the latest gadget and go meet this person, go out to that party, go make that amount of money and you're all set, right? That doesn't do it. What you need to do is start looking at where are you feeling insecure? Where are you feeling some sort of negative emotion? Figure out what is the foundation of that negative emotion, of that emotional state that you're in. Figure out why it's there, and you don't even need to actually know why it's there. You can actually overcome it without knowing the root problem. But with like NLP, again, and hypnosis, you can do that. But you have to start looking inward. That is the recap for this video, is you have to start looking inward. You can't keep pulling. If you're not where you are and where you want to be in life right now, financially, relationships, career, whatever, there's some incongruence going on. And you have to look inward, or else you'll never, ever have that fulfillment that you're looking for. So I'm gonna go check out now. I got a ton of stuff I gotta do for my business. I got to email some clients and do some diet programs. But you know, if you feel like this video helped you, or maybe opened your eyes to something, give this video a like. I would certainly appreciate it. You can check out my YouTube channel, which all these videos are also linked to on my blog, which is Build Yourself Inside. And let me know what else you would like to learn, what else you want to know. You know, what are you struggling with? What do you feel like you need help with? Where maybe you are having trouble finding that root cause. And I look forward to talking to you guys very soon, probably during the week. Bye now.